Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I want to discuss Clark's Iradelphic. Now, fuck. This is kind of where me and Christopher Stephen Clark start to part ways. I like the evolution that takes place throughout the course of this album, and I do like, or I am able to respect, or I do respect the path that he's chosen to take in regards to the writing and production of this record. And I like how he's working with guitars, and I like how he's using more, there's a heavier focus on female-centered vocals on this record. And there are splashes throughout the first 7/10 of this record that are very reminiscent of past Clark releases, like, you know, Body Riddle, or actually anything off Totem's Flare, or bits and pieces of Turning Dragon here and there. But predominantly, I would argue that at times I hear bits and pieces of Body Riddle, which is nice because it's a way of connecting the past with the present while looking towards the future. But the first 7/10 of this record, it just doesn't connect. It's like the record sounds very assured, and his confidence is obviously high, and he knows exactly what he's doing. But I was just unable to find my place in the world of this album. It just, I don't know, like I said, the first 2/3 of it are just sort of, they're just there. And none of them really connect with me in the same way that any of the tracks off his previous releases had always managed to. But then, with the Pining, or the last quarter of the record, give or take, the last 4 tracks, the Pining parts 1, 2, and 3, and Broken Kite footage. These 4 tracks sound, especially the second half of the Pining part 2, this sounds like a proper Clark record. Or I suppose in this sense, a proper Clark EP. These 4 songs are the strongest on the record as far as I'm concerned. And it feels like, while I've listened to Iradelphic a ton since its release, I believe, back in 2012, the record doesn't feel proper until the Pining Part 1 kicks in. And the problem with it taking so long to sound like a Clark record, or at least a Clark record that I'm looking for, is that it's like the last 20 minutes fits, and then boom, the record's over. And if you've got it on repeat, the record starts over, and those first chunk of songs begin again, and no matter how many times I listen to them, I just can't connect with them. They just don't sound like the Chris Clark that I'm looking for. But the last quarter or third or whatever of this album, that's exactly what I'm looking for from Clark. The Pining parts 1, 2, and 3, and Broken Kite footage, with special attention being paid to the Pining part 2 and Broken Kite footage. That's the Clark that I have grown to know and love. And the rest of this record, although commendable and incredibly well written and incredibly well realized, it's just never been for me. So I think I will leave it there. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Wow, this one's short. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discussed Chris Clark's, I believe, 2012 album, and that is Iradelphic. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody, but most importantly, don't forget that the world is a better place because you're in it. And that's true, and I mean that. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.